Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In this tutorial, we will be learning about Tailwind typography. Now, in this respect, I would like to remind you that you can set any responsive preview for that. You can set different styling properties for different breakpoints, such as if we wish that we will be using a particular font weight class into some certain breakpoints, and in the next breakpoint this particular font light, it will be converted into something different. So it will be easy to do. For SM, what are we intending to do here? In case of a lower breakpoint, we'll be using this font hairline, which is 100. So in that case, we may make use of font hairline. For MD, we may make use of something different like this font light. For LG, we may make use of this font semi-bold. For Excel, we may make use of font bold. Or is there any superior class? This is the extra bold and this is the black. So we'll be using this font black, which is practically using a font weight of 900. So in case of Excel, we will be using this black. Now this is the highest font weight which will be used into our project. So if we now press Ctrl S and get back to our project and reload, we can see that for this larger desktop preview, the font weight is now set to font black. If we now press F12 right over here and open up our code inspector panel, and if we select this particular paragraph tag right over here, we can say that there goes this font black, which is using a font weight of 900. Now we are closing this code inspector panel, and if we press Ctrl Shift M and switch back or head back to the lower desktop preview as low as 320 pixels right over here, we can see that this is below the smallest breakpoint being defined into Tailwind CSS, which is 640 pixels, so it is much below. And under this condition, we can see that font light class is in activation right now. Press F12 to open up this code inspector panel, select this particular paragraph, and you can see that font light is now in activation, which is using a font weight of 300. Now if we just increase it up to, you can see that practically still under this 550 pixels, it is still using this font light class right over here. But whenever it is now changing to 640 pixels, we practically won't be able to understand anything right over here. So we need to open up our code inspector panel, and again, if we now select this second paragraph, we can see that font hairline is now in use, which is using a font weight of 100. So practically this particular font weight, it has gone more thinner than the previous one that we had used in case of lower desktop preview. In the similar manner, if we use here 768 pixels and if we select this particular class, we can see that now this font weight of 300 has come into play, which is font light again. In case of 1024 pixels, it is a little bit of deeper right now, and if we look into our code inspector panel, there it goes. If we look into our code inspector panel, we can see that practically the LG font semi-bold class is now in activation, which is 600. And so we can safely say that as set right over here, we had set for this LG class as the font semi-bold class will be used. For this LG class, we had set this particular class to font semibold. So that is why, and font semibold, it has a weight of 600, and the same exact thing is been observed right over here. Font weight is 600, and this is what we can see right over here. In the similar fashion, if we now increase it to 1280 pix, that means for Excel device, for larger desktop preview, and if we select this particular element, this particular text element right over here, we can see that Excel now in activation, which is using a class of font black and which is using a font weight of 900. So these are the things that you can do in this particular case. This is what you can make usage of. Press Ctrl Shift M. There it goes. We are back into our steady large desktop preview. In the next case, we will be going back to letter spacing.